I've been watching those comedian late night YouTube drama series with the Rogan verse. Man, those guys so far up his ass, it's unbelievable. I've been watching a little Mark Maron too. I don't really know the guy or anything. He seems nice. He's got, I think, like 10 years on me, so, you know, respect your elders kind of thing. And he's doing the right thing, right? He's calling them out, those podcast bros. Oh man, those podcast bros, dude, they're not good for us, man. They're not good. It's not healthy for our society to have a bunch of podcast bros doing politician stuff. I mean, unless your stuff is politics, right? But if, like, you're not into politics, like, you're not into poli-sci, you're not pretty well versed, like, I don't know, maybe don't do the podcast kind of thing, you know? One of those kind of things. Whenever I see those guys go in, and I saw it all last year, you know, it's the whole reason why Trump, I think, got elected. I think squarely on Joe Rogan's shoulders did Trump get elected. Now, I will say this, because before you even say, like, you lefty son of a gun, you're going to complain about that too? No, I'm not. I'm not. And I'm going to tell you why. My art degree is in visual communications. Now, that's basically taking the art of visuals, right? Film, pictures, art, whatever, and then make you do something with that. Whether that's like, you know, maybe that's like convince you to buy something, convince you to do something. In this case, convince you to vote in a certain way. And at the end of the day, Joe Rogan and those podcast bros, I firmly believe they are squarely responsible for the government we have today. And that's not to say one way or the other, right? Maybe I hate what we have today. Maybe you love what we have today. I don't know, right? But as a professional, like, visual communication, like, marketing type of guy, I literally wrote case studies on, like, people like Jack Welch and other people that use their positions of power, like CEOs of major multinational corporations, right? Like, I've written case studies on their style, what they accomplished, their leadership styles, like all of it. If other marketers and professionals can't see this, they're crazy. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys something, and this is what I've been screaming. Now, if you don't want to hear politics, then you can tune me out. But I will die on this hill, at least right now. In the last few years, right-wing billionaires have been snapping up, like, you know, primetime television channels, networks, all kinds of blogs and YouTube channels, and, like, all kinds of stuff. If you look at the landscape today, the only thing you have is George Soros on the other. I mean, maybe there's some other ones, but not nearly as big as, like, everybody blames George Soros for writing checks to, I don't know, everybody for anything, which is fine. Listen, I don't know the guy. I don't care about the guy. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot less George Soros these days. I don't know what the plural is for Soros. Sori? I don't know. But listen, there's like one where we could probably point to a dozen or more, like, pretty famous, popular, like Bill Ackman, Elon Musk, Donald Trump himself. He's also a star. He's, you know, he's been on television, been in movies. The dude's super famous. There's a lot of billionaires, right? Adelson, he died, but his wife took over and started writing checks. My point is this. Everybody screams about how liberal the media is. I'm a firm believer that left-wing ideology and communications is significantly stamped out. Sure, you see some, like, bright lights here and there, and, like, oh, that person's still it. But for the most part, CNN was bought by a billionaire. Like, literally, if you just look at CNN over the last, like, maybe 3 years or whatever, it goes from like really liberal to like super conservative. Like some of those talking heads, they weren't saying shit like they're saying now before. As soon as a conservative billionaire bought it, all of a sudden things changed. And I'll tell you why. It's because right-wing media makes money. It does, straight up. Like, say what you want, right? And we're not even really talking about politics anymore. We're talking about marketing. But knowing your audience is a really big deal. And if you are one of those billionaires, who are you going to pick as an audience? And I know this comes as a slight, and I'm so sorry if you feel like I'm talking to you right now. Are you going to talk to the educated people that are going to dissect what you're selling them, maybe call you a fraud? You know, like they're not going to buy anything from you. Or would you rather have somebody that's a little less educated, willing to open up their wallet and shell out for whatever you got, right? I mean, good products get sold to everybody, but bad products need to find their own audience. Marketing 101, man, know your audience. Anyway, liberals don't, I mean, I'm sure they buy stuff, right? iPhones and stuff like that, avocado and toast, like, you know how it goes. But like the right-wing media is pandering to a pretty provable audience. I mean, they're not all dumb or anything. Like, I don't feel that way. I actually feel like most of them are pretty smart. I just feel like, you know, maybe somewhere along the way you got convinced on a few things and then you just settled in and said, this is me. Oh, whatever's you is you, right? But my point here is there's less right-wing media, less avenues for Democrats, progressives to get their word out, right? I'll give you a prime example. Personal. Oh, sorry. It's anecdotal, right? I know this. It is anecdotal. But I had very few places that I felt like were receiving of a progressive message last year when I ran. And it very well could be that nobody likes progressives, all right? That is possible. That's not what I'm here to argue. I'm just here to say that I think the right wing / Republican / conservative / MAGA, the whole big tent has snapped up Twitter, CNN, everything in between. You'd be amazed if you looked at your like favorite websites today, compare them to like 10 years ago if they're around that long, and see who the owners were and see what the political ideologies and how they changed. I find all this stuff to be fascinating. At the end of the day, I see beyond the politics part. I mean, the politics is pretty important, but I do have a passion to see how somebody goes from nothing to like something super crazy. It's fascinating. Apologize, I had to go in and get another one. We started talking about those right-wing media guys and I started getting a little excited. So needless to say, for all you candidates or would-be candidates or helpers of those candidates or whatever that's going to happen over the next year, you guys need to figure out how you're going to get your message out. Because all of social media is owned by right-wing billionaires. All of mainstream media is owned by right-wing media billionaires. Sorry, I got a little passionate there. My point is, 26, 28 and beyond is going to be a lot harder. Because I don't care what you're being told out there, those right-wing billionaires, they're snapping it all up and they're pushing everybody out. And these messages aren't going to get out to a lot of people. Now, if you're a MAGA guy watching this, you might be a little excited to hear that. But I don't think that message is going to be hard to get out because I think enough people are feeling it. You know, I've been through George Bush, both of them. I served under both terms. And normally you can handle a Republican presidential, administration. But this is different, man. This is very different. And that's why some of my videos are going to be a little bit of a pushback. I got the right to do that. I'm a veteran. I pay my taxes. I'm heavily involved in my community. Like, at the end of the day, like, I want my community and my people to be good. And I feel like we're not, we're just not. But I don't want to get too far off track here. I think there's a way to get the messaging. So we've identified the problem. We kind of talked it out. I went on a little tangent there. I think it's really important that we get our voices out there. We build our YouTube channels. I know they could be dismantled at any moment. We have to find a way to build our own audiences, even if it's a lot of little ones, right? But if we all connect on similar messages, we can find a platform in the sea of no help. I think YouTube in the next two cycles, right? One presidential cycle, it's 26, 28. I think YouTube and TikTok are gonna be so influential. I mean, I think it's obvious, right? I don't think it takes a genius to think that, right? But how? How is it? It's the content that's on there. It's the people that drive that content, hence YouTube, right? Those podcast bros, they did it in their own little way. And I think 26, we're gonna see even more of that, right? We're gonna see, now I don't know if we're gonna see more left-leaning, because I'm a firm believer that there's a lot less left-leaning. Even if you're a MAGA, you're conservative, Republican, however you identify, right? Even if you don't believe me, like, think about how many networks are catering to you if you're that person, right? You got One American Network, you got Voices of America now, since that's been changed over. You have your Fox News, you got was it Newsmax, right? Breitbart, you got The Blaze, you got all kinds of stuff. As a progressive, I can think of, I have YouTube as a path. But like, otherwise, like, I don't, you have Blue Sky, right? Blue Sky, does anybody use Blue Sky? I created 2 accounts on there, but I feel like it's too much of an echo chamber. Like, you guys might think like, oh, look at Adam over here. This guy, he just likes left-leaning policy. No, I like good policy, right? I don't give a shit which side. I just give me good policy. Give me something I can sink my teeth in and say, that's gonna help my family, or that's gonna help your family. It's so far and few, man. You cannot get there. Not today, because everybody just wants to win. My team, win. How about your community, man? All these businesses are shutting down right now. Like, people are hurting. Look at the farmers today alone in the news. Like, they're begging for checks. They just think that Trump's gonna write them a check and everything's gonna be all right. The less food has been grown, less food has been sold. Trade has been burned between some of our biggest buyers like China. Maybe you think that's good. I don't know. Listen, man, I'm gonna be real with you. I got maybe 20 good years left in me, right? I think my health is all right. 20 years ain't nothing, man. So, I don't know how much skin I got in the game. I'll be dead before any of this policy really affects me. But I do worry about the future generations and what they want. What kind of world do you want to live in? Dangerous question. Maybe you let me know in the comments below. Like, this is a progressive channel. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up with this. It's a progressive channel. I am a progressive. But I'm willing to hear somebody out if they got something decent to talk about. I don't really like conspiracy theories. I do like making fun of them. But like, I'm willing to have a decent conversation. I'll sit down with damn near anybody as long as you got some facts, some reasons. I just don't think that we're gonna get there today. This is something that's gonna take a long time. It's gonna take a long time to heal from this stuff. But hey, we'll get there one video at a time, one conversation at a time, whatever it is. If you made it all the way to the end, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel grow. Leaving a comment, just say, hey, Adam, nice face. And of course, if you want to like the video, it sends a little signal to the algorithm saying, hey, this bald guy might have a little something to say. Maybe we push him up a little bit, And for that, I appreciate you and your time. I'll see you in the next one. Later, guys and gals.